We are going to be learning about active and passive voice. You're going to have your notebook. You're going to have something to write with, and you're going to have headphones so that you can pause this video and take notes when I give you that direction. So first off, let's go to get this full screen here. Active and passive voice. You need to know the difference between an active and a passive voice. I have a feeling you're going to know what active voice is, but you're going to struggle with passive voice. So this video is here to remind you kind of the difference between the two. So first things first, would you rather watch LeBron play basketball or some random person sitting in the stands? So by that, if you're actively watching LeBron play basketball, you can talk about him in the first person and what he is doing. LeBron threw the basketball. LeBron made the three-point shot. If you are acting passively, you are going to say things like, the shot was made by LeBron. You're going to use the form of to be or the passive form of verbs to declare what's going on in the given situation. So voice is a verb that indicates who's doing what. I threw the ball. The ball was thrown by me. Two of the same sentences has the same meaning, but one is active, I threw the ball, and the other is passive, the ball was thrown by me. We use active voice more often when we're describing things that are going on around us. Very seldomly do we use passive voice. So when we talk about something, we use the subject first. So in these examples, LeBron is the subject. LeBron threw the basketball. LeBron shot the basketball. And LeBron scored the points. You are putting the subject at the beginning of the sentence, and it gives away that it's active. Any active sentence is going to have the subject listed first. And it sounds normal. When we use passive voice, it sounds abnormal. It sounds forced. And so it'll be an easy way to determine whether something is active or passive. So in passive voice, now instead of LeBron being at the beginning of the sentence, he's going to be at the end of the sentence. So the ball was thrown by LeBron. The action comes before the subject. So the verb, then the subject. Very easy way to identify whether something is passive. Most writers use active voice. They do it because it's easiest form. It's how we speak. It's not normal to use passive voice. You're going to have to change things. It matters because active is more direct. Passive is when you're trying to make somebody wonder. So for example, if you're wondering, you're talking to the police about a crime you committed, you're not going to explicitly say, I robbed the bank. The bank was robbed. See the difference in the way that sentence sounds? When I say I robbed the bank, there's no clue. Now I'm saying the bank was robbed by, and I am leading to believe that I don't know who the bank was robbed by. Sorry, guys, this is live. I regret nothing. Active voice is like watching LeBron play, and the passive voice is like watching gum stuck on the bleachers in the stands. Most of the time, you want to use active voice. You would only use passive voice if you're trying to be elusive. So in the first one, the mistake was made by someone. Hiding the subject helps them hide the blame. When you're trying to minimize your guilt, cheating was committed by me. My favorite is when I ask my kids if they clean their room and they're like, I just have to make my bed. Well, that's very active. I just have to make my bed, when they could say, the bed needs to be made by me. When you have a passive verb, it's going to change the ending. It's going to require the double verb, and it will consist of the form to be and the past participle with ed usually at the end. Active, John baked the bread. Passive, the bread was baked by John. Was is a form of the verb to be. I want you to write down this. Review the forms of to be. So pause this. In your notes, I want you to write active and passive. I want you to go back and I want you to use the examples right here. John baked the bread. Bread was baked by John. Copy that down in your notes. You are then going to write down the forms of to be. Sorry about this. Makai, you're getting checked out. Makai. Somebody get Makai. You're being checked out. And now you're in the video. Okay. You're going to write down the forms of to be. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, being. Those are all going to be in passive voice verbs. You're going to see those. When you talk about direct verbs or active verbs, you're going to talk about the action very simply. I'm just going to stop right there. Here's the various forms. I want this in your notes. Is kicked is the active form. Had been kicked, passive. Was kicked, is going to be kicked. Is being kicked, will be kicked. Has been kicked, can be kicked. Was being kicked, should be kicked. All of those should go in your notes. Pause it if you need a second. Also, I want you to give these examples listed for you. The reason I want these in your notes is because I'm going to give you an assignment. If you have notes, I'm going to allow you to use them on the assignment. So you want to write down the passive sentence, the cookies were eaten by the children, and then the active, the children ate the cookies. The tunnels are dug by the gophers. The gophers dug the tunnels. Okay. I want you to pause. And in your notebook, I want you to label the following 10 as either active or passive. I'm going to give you a second. Pause. You don't have to write the sentences. I just want you to write 1 through 10 and whether it's active or passive. For instance, no, sit.
Okay.
I can't believe you think it's okay. You're like seriously crazy. Sorry, class, for being rudely interrupted by the people that can't follow directions in my science class. Number 1, Luis made the chocolate cake. The subject, Luis, comes first, so you know it's active. In 2, the chocolate cake was made by Luis. Luis is at the end. You know that it's passive. Again, this was made. That form of a double verb is going to be present in a passive sentence. Now, final assignment for the day. I want you to change those 5 sentences to the active voice. So we'll do number 1 together. The statue is being visited by hundreds of tourists each year. All I'm going to do is move that subject to the front of the sentences. Hundreds of tourists each year visit the Statue of Liberty. It changes the form of the verb from visited to visit, and it changes the order of the sentence. Once you have these 5 rewritten in your composition book, come up and show me, and I will mark you off for credit. Thanks. Have a good day.